Hi guys, it's Erica here with Fibersandfloss Canada. I have a quick Flosstube video for you today. Nothing too crazy, but I wanted to touch base regarding MiraMay and what I've been up to for weeks 2 and weeks 3 and what my plans are for this week, which I'm very excited about. So I thought I would just dive right in. I'm not going to share book of days or anything like that because really I've only been working on Mirabilias, plus one other little project that I have going on the side as well. So I'll share that today. So for the first, I guess the second week of MiraMay, sorry, I was working on my chart I started in April, and that was Fairy Idyll. I'll put a picture of it here because I don't have the actual picture, I just have the chart. So this one, you know, this piece has given me, it's given me a bit of a headache, to be honest. Just everything I tried to do with it, things just weren't really working out. You know, I had problem after problem with it. Then my glasses broke halfway through it. And then I was trying to do 1/1 skim with no glasses and I was messing that up. And it just, things weren't really going as I would have hoped for the last couple weeks of April. And then when I decided to work on this for my second week of MiraMay, I thought, okay, how can I kind of just reset myself? And so I decided to stitch in a different direction. So I've left this on the frame because I'm trying to complete this god-awful long arm that is 1/1 and it's taking me hours. So I'm just doing a little bit every day, but this is where I'm at on the project. And so when I'll put a picture here of where I was prior to the second week of MiraMay. And so my goal was, you know, with Mirabilias, for some reason, my least favorite color is the white and the light yellows. And I don't know why, I just don't really enjoy it. It's in a fair bit of her designs as well. And so I did a center skirt on this one. And of course, those are the colors I was stitching. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to get more into these browns and then the pinks. And she's got a great big wing that comes off the back here. So my plan was to head in that direction. And so I've worked really hard on that for the first 2 weeks of MiraMay. I did a lot of the darker brown, some more golden, a little bit of that light yellow in there, and started some of the pink towards the bottom. And there's actually a bunny rabbit that goes here with these big tall ears. And then I started her dress. And of course I had another predicament. So this pattern, I can't remember now when it was published. I don't have it in front of me. 2004 maybe, something like that. And so at the time with Kryneck, for braid, they only had number 8 braid, which of course is very thick. And so now there's number 4 and almost all patterns are number 4. And so I ordered number 8 because that's what was called for. And I started, without thinking about it, started stitching it. And so then just take a look at this gold. Don't know if I can get to focus well. There you guys go, kind of. And so some of it is okay. You know, I'm looking at, I put my hand behind there so it's a bit mottled, the fabric, and see through there. Some of those smaller squares are okay, but then when you get just by the breast, you can see it's dappled with a darker gold and a light gold, and it looks really, really messy, despite, you know, leaving it on the frame. And, you know, the stitches are good, they're straight, but it's just the cord, the braid is so thick. And so the question became, you know, I was frustrated and I called Sam and I said, listen, I'm getting so frustrated with this piece. What am I supposed to do? And, you know, she said, well, just stitch it in a number 4. And true to myself, and I have the number 4, then I think, no, I think I like the number 8. I'm all over the map. I like the texture the number 8 gives you at the end of the day. Like when you're looking at that on an angle, I don't know if you can really tell on the camera, I might put some pictures in. It has quite a presence to it, even though it's a bit thicker. And then throughout all of here, all of those spaces are actually beads. So there's gonna be a lot of texture in this area anyways. And then she's got a big wing that comes off of here. So I think that your eyes are gonna be drawn into the wing and up to the beading. And so do I just leave it? I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards leaving it, but I thought I wanted to talk about that given it's MiraMay, and that I'm sure other people have encountered this as well. And so any of the older patterns, of course, all call for number 8 braid. They can all be interchanged with number 4 braid, you know, provided that you think to do that when you're ordering your braid, or if you have the supply at home. So I just wanted to share that little bit with you guys. Otherwise, I really enjoyed getting into the pink. You know, I can't wait to stitch some more and getting up into the bunny and stuff like that here too. And I should say, there is another stitcher, and off the top of my head, I can't think of her name right now. I was just commenting on her post yesterday where she's also stitching very Idyll. But what's really neat to see about her stitching is that we both started at the knee, and I was scrolling through my Instagram. I thought, oh, I know that knee. I have the same knee. And she, you know, felt the same about the yellow. And then she ended up stitching this direction for MiraMay. And she got to the end and there's a big puff of like pink in the bed. And so it's neat to see that although I've gone this way, she's gone that way, and just to, you know, see the difference. And it makes me want to keep stitching on this, but alas, it's MiraMay and I have a lot of plans, so I'm gonna have to tuck this one away. The skin though, I have left it out because I am doing, just ignore those little threads there. I'm gonna kind of stitch over them and tie them in the back. I am doing 1/1 for her arms and her hands. And these, you know, this arm is crazy. Like this little section the other day, I messaged my girlfriend, from here to there, it took me about 4 hours of stitching. I mean, it looks beautiful, right? But it's a lot of work. So, and then once I've done this, the next step is actually to stitch her back, and then the wing will go off of the back, and then her head. So it's a lot more 1/1. And I wanted to get into the wing maybe for my last week of stitching there, and I probably could have instead of this. But here's the thing, is that with this particular pattern and the age of it, the wing was just DMC. There was no blending filament, and I feel like I think I would like to add some blending filament to it. So the wing is very light green, like think of mint chocolate chip ice cream, like that light green. And so I'd like to order some blending filament that's similar to that, or maybe a bit more turquoisey. So I just have to place that order and then I can get doing the wing. I have a lot of that color, but unfortunately most of the stuff I have is in number 4 braid. And well, I guess I could maybe do some of the wing with number 4 braid. I'd like most of it to have that iridescent look. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that project. At least I'm at a point now where, other than the 1/1 skin, which is the most challenging part of this piece, I think I'm through my frustrated, you know, space, and I should be able to actually enjoy stitching it now, which is good, because I really wanted to stitch a Mirabilia comfort stitching, and this has been very challenging for me and I haven't found it very comforting. So but I'm liking it. I'm liking seeing now that it's taken shape, and now that I've seen this other stitcher on Instagram as well, it makes me want to pick it up and just get busy on it. But that was my 2nd week. So that's what I've done, and I had to set it aside. My 3rd week for MiraMay, I wanted to stitch a free design. So my like unicorn piece are Nora Corbett's dragonfly pieces, and my girlfriend stitched it, and then she gave her pattern to someone in the guild that she belongs to, and I thought, oh, yeah, I would have loved to have had that, right? I missed that opportunity. And so I'm just forever keeping my eyes open. And in the meantime, one of the free patterns on Mirabilia Designs is a bumblebee. And so while it's not the dragonfly, it's very similar to it in the sense where, you know, there's a lot of beads, there's very little bit of DMC, tons of Krynic. It just kind of at the end of the day offers, you know, sort of the same thing as the dragonfly does. And so this is Bumblebee by Mirabilia. So this one here, I've just finished, and I finished all the beading last night. I'll just zoom in for you guys. I I don't know if you can kind of see, but the brown in here, this is all Whisper, so it's actually quite thick and fuzzy. It looks like I'm not focusing, but that's actually fuzzy. It's supposed to be that way. And then there's a little bit of, I think it's 3371 in the body. And then just a little bit of this, I can't remember the number, but the color in the light brown there. And that's all that there is for DMC, and the rest of it largely is that dark brown Whisper, as well as the wings are all Kryneck. This part of the wing, the silver part here, is to be Kryneck as well. And when I had ordered it, I accidentally ordered the blending filament, not the number 4 braid in that color. And so looking at it, I've actually went ahead and just did one strand of the blending filament there. Look at that. And I think it looks really good in person. You know, it's very, this part of the wing looks quite heavy with that number 4 braid, and in person this is very, very fine and delicate looking, but yet still offers that sheen at the right angle, you know. So I'm quite happy with the blending filament, and I think, you know, if I was to stitch this again, I would do the blending filament again. And then of course there's more Kryneck, there's some blue in through the legs and up by the eyes. And then there's this like copper color here at the bottom, lots of beads. And there's some of this, they're all, they're not all, I was gonna say they're all Magnifica beads, but that's my other project. There's one set of Magnifica beads in there. And so, I don't know if you can see, I'll put some pictures, but these here, there's beads in here too. On the angle there, you can maybe, I'll put some pictures in where you can see them better. Oh, there, you can see them a bit. Anyways, this was a super fun stitch. For the actual Bumblebee, it took me 2 days to stitch everything. And then, and when I say 2 days, probably 3 hours both of those days, and then I was able to bang out the beading last night in maybe, I don't know, 45 minutes, maybe less than that. So really happy with this one. It's definitely turned out well. I think it's going to be super cute. So she does have, this one is a Bumblebee, and the other one she has is a butterfly also. Yeah, so I'm quite happy. So I had a start and a finish for week 3, and I love that it's a free pattern, so anyone can go on and stitch that. But I will caution you, there is a lot of Kryneck in there, so there is a cost to doing that one for sure. It's just not in the cost of the actual pattern. I should say, I didn't say this for the other one too, but this is just a mystery fabric for me actually. This is natural brown linen, and it's from Belgium. My father met up with this lady, so I was on Marketplace and I found this post where this lady had a ton of cross-stitch fabrics, and I don't know where she got them from. I get the sense it was from like a garage sale or estate sale or something, and she was clearing them out, and I said, oh, I'll take that, but she doesn't live close to me, but she lives close to my parents. So my dad said, no problem, I'll drive up and pick it up, and he did. And so they were down last week, and I was excited to get that and go through and see what was in there. And this one's actually one of the nicer pieces of the fabric that I received from her. It is a 32 count natural brown linen. I can't remember the name. The name was on the package, but you know, Belgium linen, Belgium and linen from like Paris and London, they're the best linens you can get in the world because they have the best flax belts worldwide. And it is definitely nice linen. It's a little bit more rustic than the other linens I've used in the past, but I'm enjoying it. It's a perfect choice for doing that type of cross stitch for sure. And just backtracking, I should say with this one here that this is stitched on a 32 count Picture This Plus, and it's called Mirage. It's a linen as well. And then all the called for colors, I've made no changes with any of the Mirabilias. I don't usually make any changes with them. Now for week 4, which is starting, so there's actually like 4.5 weeks in May, and so my plan is to have a new start for week 4 and then use my last few days to see if I can actually finish beating Royal Games 1, and that way I can have 2 finishes this month, 1 WIP and 1 new start. So my new start is Bluebeard's Princess by Mirabilia. You can get a good picture of that one there. And I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but you know when you go on 1, 2, 3 Stitch and you, sometimes I don't buy everything at once. I'll buy the pattern and then later I think, okay, now it's time I'm gonna kit it up. And so I want to get the called for fabric. For this one, to be honest, I went back and forth and thought, no, I'm gonna do something really fun, like a opalescent something. But in looking through Instagram posts, as I often will do, just to see what other people have done and get a feel of which colors look really good with it, I felt like you really lose that mermaid, like because of her colors being so bright and vibrant already, that if you were to go with a really pretty like teal, green, shiny, you know, under the sea looking fabric, it blended too much with the colors of the actual mermaid. So I decided to go for the called for. So I go on to 1, 2, 3 Stitch and, you know, I pull up the pattern and I click on the box for adding the called for fabric, and then I get distracted, I'm buying other things that are not for that pattern, and then I go and I check out, yep, everything looks good, and I check out, and then it comes in the mail, and when you have that box, it always adds the pattern, and you have to unselect the pattern, and I didn't, and now I have to. So I'm gonna do a giveaway with this one. Because I'm not gonna send it back to 1, 2, 3 Stitch. I don't know. It's just, it's so beautiful, and I thought that I'm sure there's somebody else who would love to stitch this as well. So I'm happy to send this anywhere in, well, worldwide really. It doesn't matter if you're wherever you are from. Just comment maybe mermaid. That will be our keyword, mermaid. And you know, you have to of course be over 18, like and subscribe, and then I'll do a draw for this one probably in like 2 weeks on my next Flosstube video, which reminds me I have a winner for my previous draw as well, so I'll do that after this. Anyway, so I've gone ahead, now I've got 2 of these. One of you guys will get one, which will be excellent. I just wanted to read the back of them. It says, there's a rumor that that amongst the deep dark seaweed of the Caribbean, there's a very unique pirate's treasure. She is Bluebeard's princess, known as Mirabella, but it's spelled M-I-R-A-B-E-L-L-A, Mirabella. She is a mermaid who stole his heart, and he brings her all the royal treasures. Her sweet singing reminded him of their silent longing and secret bond. So I love just knowing the little background behind all the pieces, right? Anyway, so that's her description. I did order the called for fabric, which was the 32 count Laurel and Witchelt, which of course is like, they're always so stiff. I don't know if you guys can see that. Like I'm holding it, look, I can hold it down here and it'll stand straight up, no problem. So I know that some people have commented before that they find Witchelt is a little bit too stiff for their liking, that there's like a darker piece of flax in this one. But you know what? I can totally appreciate that comment. I understand it is definitely very stiff in the hand. You know, it doesn't flop in the hand like, you know, Access Commodities or some of the really great, nice ones. But there's something about a Witchelt fabric, and when it's done, it's just so beautiful. Like my Royal Games 1 is on Witchelt, and again, I was like, oh yeah, this is stiff. It's been a while since I've worked on Witchelt, but now that it's done, it's gorgeous. gorgeous. And even though that this one is stiff, I don't hesitate at all to stitch on it. I think that it will turn out really, really, really lovely. So I kitted it all up today. I'm gonna start it tonight. These are the colors. I'll put a picture here too of, look at those silks, so pretty. And then there's some of the braid and blending filament. And then what's not in here are the beads. So this one, I will caution whoever is wanting this pattern for a giveaway, all the beads are the Magnifica beads. Every single one of them. And then there's charms as well. So I think for the beads, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 packs, and those range from like $7 to $13 a package US. And then there's 3 packages of treasure. So I have spent a lot of money on the beads alone, and it's hard to find Magnifica beads. At least finding a store that carries all the ones that you need. So I've had to purchase from a couple different stores. I've had to purchase from Cat Stitchery recently, and then Stitchlets out of the States, as well as 123 Stitch, just to get the Magnifica beads there. So then of course you have shipping for all 3 stores as well. So if you are wishing to have that giveaway, just realize that it is quite expensive to kit up the beads unless you want to go in a different angle and do some of your own bead conversions. And speaking of beading, I just filmed the latest Flosstubersity that is part of the Mirabilia series for MiraMay, and it's all about beading. So I'll put a link in here for you guys as well if you want to go check that out. I know that Samantha and I released how to stitch a Mirabilia, part 1 and part 2. In part 2, we talked a little bit about beading as well, but with this video, I actually do show some beading and some different ways to do orientation slightly differently, and you know, how to anchor your floss and that sort of thing. So if you're interested, go check that out. Now, the last thing that I've been stitching on this month is a stitch along that's new that was just started by Amber with Rogue Mama Stitcher and Allie at the Cross Stitch Files. And I'll put a picture in here. It's called Frog by Hoops and Crosses. And the hashtag we're using is hashtag Frazzled Frog Sell. And I just love this one. I don't normally stitch kind of goofy fun patterns, you know, and I thought this is perfect. You know, this saying is perfect for me. I'm quite often feeling a little frazzled in life, and I love a good rainbow. Anything rainbow, I'm in 100%. And so here's the floss. I mean, how could you not? It's so beautiful, right? And so I decided I'm gonna stitch this one on black Aida, and I'm going to make a notions bag out of it using some of the rainbow Tula Pink fabric, and I'm really excited for that. So right now, this is a project that is my car project. I will leave it in my bag in the car, so if I'm waiting at pickup after school or waiting at appointments, this is when I take this piece out and stitch on it. So it's not a focus piece for the month, but I am making good progress because as a mama 3, I do spend some time in the car. And this is where I'm at with it so far. So right now, I'm just starting I guess it would be the indigo color. It kind of just dips here a little bit and then comes down more on both of the sides here because we're prepping for the frog's eyes go up here. And so that it's coming along. I really, really love how the colors just, you know, they pop right off of the black. I think it's fantastic and it's super fun. Anything that's colorful, whether I'm knitting it or stitching it, I tend to just blow through it because I love bright colors and I love seeing the change in the colors. It's very motivating for me. I think that's my problem with Dutch Beauty. You know, it's all the colors are so muted that I struggle to like want to pull that out and dive into it. I mean, I want to get into it and I want to stitch it, but you know, if it was really bright rainbow colors, I think I'd be a lot further along in it. So thank you guys for putting on this stitch long. It's so much fun for me to stitch something nice and bright. My only thing is that I'm wondering now, because I'm stitching it on the black, the frog has black outlining to him, and I can't really, maybe I'll zoom in on a picture on the screen for you. There's black around his eyes and his nose and his legs. So, I mean, the black has to be stitched into the frog. But then when I think about the frog being on black Ada, I guess I just stitched the black outline. I mean, you're not really gonna see it so much on the black Ada, right? As you would with the white. It looks really good on the white. So I'm not sure about that. In the same breath, I don't think I could outline the frog in white, would look really weird. And there's already a few colors of greens going in there. So maybe I still will do the black. What do you guys think? I don't know. Give me your opinions. I'm leaning towards still stitching black, even though I think it's gonna just disappear largely on the most of it, but let me know what you guys think, okay? So lastly, I have a giveaway for Royal Games 1. Now that I've completed it, our last video I said if anybody's interested just to comment games, and I used the YouTube random comment picker, and I'll put the name up here. The winner is Susan. Susan, I am not sure about your last name. If it's Acevedo, maybe, or I don't know if that is your name, last name or middle name, initials, I don't know. And then 3552. So if that is you, send me a message. My Instagram and Gmail will both be in the box, the description box, so you can reach out to me and I'll get that in the mail to you this week. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you guys are participating in MiraMay and you've been enjoying it. Next week I'll be releasing another tutorial for the last week of MiraMay, and it will be all about conversion of skin from 2/2 to 1/1, and how to do that, and how to you know, because you're going from 2 threads down to 1 thread, what do you do for the blends that you get in the skin, and all that, all those questions. Will answer all of that for you guys. So make sure you follow along if you're interested in that. I have created a playlist for Mirabilia series where we do have the How to Stitch a Mirabilia part 1 and part 2, and I've added the beading today, and then I'm adding the skin conversion next week. So if those are things that are interesting for you, go check it out. I'll put a link in here for you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the end of MiraMay. Thanks so much. Happy stitching. Bye guys.